Hey there, everybody. This is Don Evans for WatchReport.com, and today we're going to be doing another video presentation, and we're going to be taking a look at the Strider Hyperdive. Let me give you a quick look at the watch. Just give you a quick glance all around here at the dial and the case, and then I will start discussing. Now what you have here is a 46 millimeter case, and I'll get through the measurements here real quick. You have a 46 millimeter case, 24 millimeter lug width. It is about 52 millimeters from lug to lug, about 16 millimeters thick. You have a sapphire crystal. The bezel is a PVD coated stainless steel, and the markers are loomed. The loom, as you can see, this is a sandwich dial, and it is a nice textured dial, kind of like a granite textured dial, that pebbly texture. And the markers, it is actually dual loom that is being used. The underneath dial is C3 Super Luminova, even though this is all painted in white. And the outline of the markers is BGW9 loom, so it glows blue, so it gives a nice contrast with the dual loom. And actually, even part of the bezel, certain parts of the bezel, this part of the bezel here is C3, and then up here is in the blue. Now let me give you some backstory here, and how much this watch is, where it's produced, and all the good stuff. Strider Watches is the brainchild of Jim Skelton. Many of you might know Jim Skelton. Jim Skelton used to work for Shop NBC, and now he works for World of Watches. But this is his own company. It's completely separate from his career or job, if you will, on TV. This is his own company. Now, he worked a deal. The watch is actually being produced by Android Watches. So the watch is, produced in China. No big secret there. As we all know, countless micro brands are made in China, so that's not like it's, anything new. But the watch is assembled here in the United States. It is assembled in Florida. They are all put together by hand. There are 500 pieces total. Now, there are 3 different variations, so there's not 500 of each variation, but there is, I can't remember the exact numbers offhand, but there's 3 variations. You have the black pebble texture dial that you see here in the stainless steel. There's also the exact same look, but more of a slate gray colored dial. Which I believe that was the least amount that was produced. There was only 75 of those produced. And then there is an all PVD version that has the black dial as well. So you will get, there's only 500 of them altogether. The movement is a Miyota 9015 automatic movement, and the price currently is $500 plus shipping. And I'm going to show you the massive box that this comes in, and all the good, the tools and the straps and everything else as we take a walk around here with the watch. Right up front, I should probably say, is probably going to be a very long video, just because there's so much that I want to point out and cover and give you a good look at with the watch here. Now, there's a lot of things to keep in mind here. Yes, the watch is produced in China. Like I said, it is assembled in the United States. But now here's what I want to point out. The bracelet, we've all seen this bracelet before. It's very similar to what you've seen on Zixon watches, or it's not the exact same one, but it's similar in style, as you know, especially this way to say a Boschette Harpoon or Cave Dweller. This is more squared off, or rectangle, I should say, than the Cave Dweller bracelets, but it's a similar look. So the bracelet and the ratchet and clasp are stock or catalog, but everything about the case, the dial, the crown, bezel, the hands, the markers, everything was completely designed by Jim, and it is completely custom. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say right off the bat, you know, there's a lot of people that might be looking at that, and, you know, they don't like what they might term, or maybe even I'll term it that way, funky looking hands and dial markers. And you know what? Here's the thing. The reality is not every watch is for every person, and that's why we do these reviews here on Watch Report, and we try and get in depth as we possibly can with them, and also give you the best look that we can at the watches, and then you can make the decision for yourself whether it's something for you. As with every review, you know, my opinions are, you know, my opinions, and that doesn't reflect on what everybody else is going to think. You know, everybody has the option to agree or disagree with what I say. Personally, I like the dial setup. I like the different, you know, the use of the markers here. And, you know, it's not your same 12, 3, 6, and 9. It's not the, you know, just regular square or dot arrow markers. It's different, and it's meant to be different. But I think what they've pulled off is it's different, but in a way that's not, what's the word I want to use? Gaudy. To me, it's different, but in a good way. I still, you know, you still have that, you know, dive watch, tool watch look about it. It's just, you know, it's not the exact same hands and numbers that you're going to see on, let's face it, I love micro watches, the micro brands, I love dive watches, but sometimes they start to look repetitive from company to company because they're all using a lot of parts or hands that can be really exchanged with one another. And this one, you know, goes outside the box. Let's take a good look at the hands here and the dial. Now, one thing you might be noticing, the shape of the minute hand is actually done to be a knife blade. Now, the owner, Jim Skelton, is into knives. You know, he collects, you know, pocket knives and that kind of thing. So because of that, and this is his design, he influenced it a bit with the knife-shaped hand. You can see the symmetry used here between the 9 o'clock marker and then the 3 o'clock marker and then the date. So even though the date's here and they made that shorter, it's, you know, it lines up perfectly. And it's, you know, the symmetry is very good there with the way the markers are done. You can see the S logo in Strider watch there underneath the hour hand. By the way, that S actually glows in the dark as well. Always remember, check out the full review at watchreport.com. You'll see, you know, the written review. You'll see my updated thoughts and comments and anything that I forget to discuss in the video. And you will also see the loom shot. I might try and give you a quick loom shot here while doing the video. Let me unscrew the crown here. And as I said, everything on this is completely custom. This is a 9mm crown. It is extremely easy to pull out and set. It's a very solid crown. There we go. I apologize, doing stuff from behind the camera sometimes is a little difficult, but just trying to give you a look at the hands and the date change. Like I said, there is a lot of things I want to point out with this watch. So let me, well, first of all, I stuck the date There we go. Let me start pointing out some of the things that I want to discuss about this, because I just noticed we're already 10 minutes into the video. Now, one thing you're going to notice here is that there are no minute or second hash marks around the dial in between the 5-minute markers. That was a design choice, because with the type of dial you have and these large sandwich markers, if you were to put the minute hash marks in there, it's going to be a very busy dial, and it would kind of screw up the design of the dial as well. Now, for some people that might be a problem, because without those, it's a little difficult, honestly, to measure accuracy. You're not really going to be able to, you know, see how accurate the watch is, because you really, you know, what second or minute that you're on is obviously going to be very difficult to do there. And mind you, that is something that does not bother me, but I'm just pointing it out to our viewers for the review. Bezel action is extremely solid. It's a quiet bezel. There's like no play really in this bezel at all. Now, mind you, though, same as the dial, if you look at the bezel with the way these markers are, and the fact that you really don't have, like I said, you don't have any minute markers or second markers on the dial. I don't know if I'd really be using this dial for, or this bezel for timing anything. I think it's, you know, a little more for fashion or design over function. The bracelet attaches using hex screws, and they are one-sided hex screws. And I actually just put the bracelet back on to do this review. And you could see how tightly that the end link fits up against the case. It's like perfectly flush, which makes it extremely easy to take this bracelet off and put it on a strap, or any kind of strap that you want, or switch it to one of the straps that it comes with. You just, you know, put the end link all the way solid to the case here, put your screw back in, and tighten it. The bracelet uses one-sided standard screws. So, you know, simple little screwdriver. Now, I want to show you here real quick. I'm going to move the watch out of the way just for a second here. And this is the, if you could see it here on the screen, this is the box that this comes in. And you're not going to be able to see it on camera here, but it is an extremely huge box. If you're familiar with the Boschette watches, it's very similar, but it's still even a little bit bigger than those are actually. So your watch is going to come on the pillow here, and I'll have a lot of pictures of the box and everything, but I wanted to try and point some things out. Now, you're going to see that there's another case back here. This is a solid case back, whereas the watch has an exhibition case back. Now, that was sent to me to show the both of them for review purposes. The exhibition case back is actually going to cost you $50 extra, and they will install it for you, and then they will ship it with the solid case back, which is going to have your number on it. So if you want the solid case back, it would be the price would be $500. If you wanted the exhibition case back, it's going to be $550. You also get an extra pair of screw bars for the lugs. And I'm not going to pull each one of them out here, but you also have all the tools. You have a little pin tool, a regular screwdriver, and then the hex screwdriver, the hex tool to use. In this side of the case, there is a NATO strap. It also comes with a black leather that is branded Strider watches. I actually have the buckle to this, and I'll show it to you here real quick. I have it on another strap only because I've been switching up straps, switching up the looks to you know, get a feel for this watch of the many different looks that are possible. And I'll show you the buckle here that comes on both. It comes on both the leather and the NATO strap. So these are custom buckles that are done for the Strider Hyperdive as well. Okay. Now let me move some of this stuff back here for right now. We'll go back, taking a look at the watch. And I want to try and point out anything that I forgot. This weighs 300 grams on the bracelet unsized. The bracelet should fit literally up to a 10.5-inch wrist. I have a 7.5-inch wrist. I had to remove like 6 or 7 links out of this bracelet to get it to fit me. But it is meant, you know, it's a larger watch. You know, I don't, hey, everybody can wear what they wear. Obviously, though, I don't see a lot of people with the 6.5 inch wrist pulling off a watch like this. But hey, by all means, if you like big watches and you want to wear it, who the hell cares when everybody else thinks? But so it should be able to size down to fit, you know, anything from say a 6.5, 7-inch wrist all the way up to a 10.5-inch wrist. But it weighs unsized. It weighs just about 300 grams. Sized for my 6.5-inch wrist, it's coming in around 265. So it is a very weighty timepiece. Everything is very solid about this. As I said, you're getting a Miyota 9015 movement. And, you know, in the world of watches, and like I said, everybody could take their design. You know, if you don't like the design, hey, then you don't like the design. If you do like the design, and you compare this watch to other micro brands that are out there as far as, you know, construction and everything that comes with, this is at $500 if you go with the standard case back right now for $500, or even at $550 and you get the exhibition case back. This is an insane deal, okay? There's nothing cheap about this watch at all, okay? Anybody that knows these bracelets or has had any of these bracelets, you know, with the ratcheting and extension clasp and everything, knows these bracelets are fantastic. You could see here in the video, I'm showing you every last part of the watch here, okay? There's nothing cheaply made about this at all whatsoever. I've taken this bracelet on and off about 6-7 times now. No issues whatsoever. You know, the bezel's tight, the lume is great. You know, everybody, you know, knows that the Miyota 9015 is very accurate movement and very dependable. If you compare this to other micro brand watches, obviously especially dive watches, I think you're going to see that this is a tremendous value. And everybody knows I always speak my mind. You know, to me, there's not a whole lot here that I can point out that I could say, oh, you know, this should have been done or this should have been done. Like I said, you know, there's no minute or second hash marks on the dial. Not a big deal to me, but great value that you have here if you like a bigger watch and you want a, you know, something that looks a little different from everything else. You want something a little bold, but still retaining that dive watch look. I think you have it here. We're running into 18 minutes here, so I'm really going over what I normally do with a video. I want to put it on the wrist here real quick and give you a look at it. I'm not going to really have time here for a lume shot, so I apologize. But like I said, I did want to get it on the wrist here and give you a look at my 7.5 inch on my 7.5 inch wrist. It is a large case, but you know, with only 52mm lug to lug, it's gonna look, you know, my wrist is 7.5 inches, as I've said, and I think it looks great. Plays a little larger than 46mm due to the large dial, so just keep that in mind. But, and I apologize for the extremely long video. I just wanted to show there was a lot to talk about and a lot to show with this watch. Anything that I didn't cover Check the full review out. There'll be a link in the description below. Check the full review out at watchreport.com. Leave a like or a comment here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you already haven't. You'll never miss another one of our video reviews. This has been Don Evans for watchreport.com, giving you a look at the Strider Hyperdive. Thank you very much for watching the video.